Spring training is going to be interesting, guys. Definitely, there's a lot of prospects out there. This is All Things Mets, where you get your latest Mets media. Everything you know about the Mets on this channel. So definitely do me a favor, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And let's get into today's video. And that is overall 4 prospects that we are excited for, that I am excited for in spring training for the New York Mets. You know, you got Jett Williams, you got Drew Gilbert, you got Luis Angel Acuna, and you got Christian Scott. So definitely, let's start with Jett Williams, guys. If you don't know Jett Williams, man, you know, first round draft pick, definitely was drafted as a shortstop. And you know, when the Mets signed or drafted Jett Williams, I wasn't so excited for this guy because, you know, he was a shortstop. He was gonna be blocked by Francisco Lindor, and that's, you know, but then the Mets changed his position, made him more versatile, and he became more valuable to the New York Mets because now Jett Williams can play a shortstop. Jett Williams can play an outfield, you know, second base, different positions, and that's what I like about what the Mets did, you know, with Jett Williams, and they did that early, you know, in the minors, and not like what they did with Mauricio and ended up changing his position so late. So Jett Williams, I like this kid. You know, he is small. He's not the biggest guy, but definitely when you think of a high riser, you think of somebody that's going to make a good impression. You know, you saw last year in 2023, Jett Williams made jumps, man. He made jumps from, you know, single A all the way to double A. He was killing it in single A, you know, Brooklyn. He was killing it in double A. And, you know, he's going to start the season, you know, this year, 2024, in double A. But this guy is a high riser. This guy could be a threat to get to the triple A, to maybe make the majors in 2024. I know that's his goal. That's his realistic goal. That's really, really what he wants to do. Obviously, every prospect wants to get to the big leagues. But when it comes to Jett Williams, I like this kid. He has speed. He has a little bit of power. I like his swing. I like his defense. I think Jett Williams is going to be a prospect that is going to do something for the Mets in some time. I think he's going to be an important prospect for the Mets. I really think this guy is going to be important. And when it comes to prospects, that's what you want. You want these guys to make an impact. So I hope that Jett Williams, you know, makes an impact. And we heard from David Stearns, you know, recently in spring training that, you know, Jett Williams is going to play shortstop and he's going to play the outfield. He's going to play center field. Center field, I don't know exactly if I'm so high on center field for Jett Williams. Maybe a left field, maybe a corner spot. But I don't see Jett Williams being the center fielder for the New York Mets in the future. But you need somewhere. You got to put this guy somewhere, right? But this guy plays with fire. I like this kid. He has some good speed as well. So why not, you know, give this guy a chance in different positions? I think it's going to be exciting to see what he does in spring training. Now let's get into another prospect, and that is Drew Gilbert, one of my favorite prospects, you know, definitely to come to the Mets. Last year was traded, you know, that Justin Verlander trade. Man, Drew Gilbert, a guy that was, you know, a fiery guy. He has high energy. He has power. You know, he's not the biggest guy in the world, but definitely he has speed. He can play the outfield. He's a really good defender, outfielder-wise. And when it comes to the Mets, we know that they lost Pete Crow Armstrong. So the fact that they got a guy like Drew Gilbert, that's good for the Mets because the Mets don't have a lot of outfield guys just in general. So Drew Gilbert, I like this kid. I think a lot of Mets fans like him. I think a lot of Mets fans see a lot of potential in this kid. And I know you don't want to, you know, always put all your eggs in one basket, but man, if there was any prospect to put their eggs in one basket, it would be Drew Gilbert for me because I think this guy's going to be a stud. I think this guy is going to be a big impact player for the New York Mets in 2025, you know, hopefully in the majors. But 2024, he's going to start the season in AAA. We're going to see a little bit of him in spring training, but I want to see him play the field. I want to see him play with the Mets, play with Lindor, play with these guys. And I like his power. I want to see that fire. Obviously, you're not going to see the most fiery, you know, attitude on the field when it comes to spring training because it's spring training. But I think if you think of guys that can make a big-time impact on the Mets, it got to be Drew Gilbert. It has to be because you got Starling Marte until 2026. But Drew Gilbert, this guy is going to be important to your future. This guy is very, very important. I like what he brings. I like his power. I like his speed. I like his defense. Just a fiery kid. And that's what you want in a prospect. You want this guy to be good. And I like this guy. I really think Drew Gilbert is going to be successful. I'm excited to see him in spring training. Let me know what you guys, are you guys excited to see, a Drew Gilbert in spring training? Because I'm definitely excited to see him. But man, just in general, I think Drew Gilbert is going to be the future center fielder for this team. You got Brandon Nimmo for many years to come, but Drew Gilbert, he's possibly going to be in the center field spot, and maybe Brandon Nimmo is going to be in the left field. But I really think that Drew Gilbert, he's going to be in the outfield. He's going to be an impact player for the New York Mets. I just hope that he really becomes that player, because, you don't want to put a lot of pressure on a player. But man, when you think of a guy the Mets need to be good, they need Drew Gilbert to be that guy. They need him to be an impact player, especially with their future plans and what they want. And I think this guy is going to be it. So we'll see. Now let's get into another guy, and that is Luis Angel Acuna, the brother of Ronald Acuna Jr. Yes, definitely Luis Angel Acuna. The big trade was the Max Scherzer trade. That's what they got. Luis Angel Acuna was in Double-A. He was raking. This guy hits 300, for a batting average. Not a lot of home runs, but definitely he got a lot of hits in the Double-A, Texas minor league system. But then when he came to the Mets in the trade later on in the season, he struggled. He wasn't hitting so much. But this guy is a guy that can steal you 50 to 60 stolen bases. This guy's speed is unmatched. He's one of the fastest players I've seen, especially for the Mets, in some time. So I hope that he has a successful spring training with the Mets. But from what I'm hearing is the Mets are putting Luis Angel Acuna possibly in the outfield. They're not really thinking about they're not thinking about the outfield so much, so they're going to put him in the infield. That's what I meant to say. So Luis Angel Acuna, you want this guy to be like Ronald Acuna. You want this guy to be, obviously, you got Ronald Acuna Jr., if he stays on course, a guaranteed Hall of Famer. Okay, that's how good Ronald Acuna Jr. is. But his brother, I don't know exactly what he's going to be, but I think if this guy can be a guy that can hit you 300, in the batting average, he can hit you a couple of home runs. But if he's an on-base guy, he can steal bases. He can, be successful. He doesn't need to be the biggest power guy when it comes to the Mets. But I would like for him to grow into more power. I would like for him to grow into more power, hit more home runs. But I think definitely I like his bat. I like his swing also, but I'm not seeing a lot of power from him. He's not that big of a kid. Also, doesn't have a lot of weight to him. But I think, man, this guy is going to be important to see, because when it comes to 2025, you're going to see, Luis Angel Acuna. You're going to see Ronnie Mauricio. You're going to see a whole bunch of prospects just come up, and where are you going to play him? Where are you going to play him? Because apparently Luis Angel Acuna has really good arm strength, above average arm strength, and that is good. So are you going to keep him at second base? Or are you going to keep him in the infield? Because I think Luis Angel Acuna, he could be in the outfield. He could be because of his speed. His speed is really, really good. Out of this world speed. I love his speed. Like I said, he can steal you 50 to 60 stolen bases. I really think he has that high potential, especially with the new bases that, was in 2023. So when it comes to prospects that I hope to see, make some exciting, show some exciting energy, I hope it's Luis Angel Acuna. I think this kid is going to be good. I think, but is he untouchable? I don't know if he's an untouchable prospect, but that's really my take on Luis Angel Acuna. And then we have Christian Scott, who is possibly the most polished starting pitcher out of the crop of Mike Vasil, Dominic Hamill. You got Christian Scott. I like Christian Scott. He has good stuff. Definitely he's in Double-A now. He's going to probably start the season in Double-A. But I like this guy. I want this guy to be successful. I want this guy to be the next big Mets pitcher. but he needs to show something. He needs to show more. Definitely, I hope that in spring training he gets an opportunity to show something. I like his fastball. I like his stuff. His breaking pitches is okay. It's not the best in the world, but definitely it's above average compared to a Mike Vasil, compared to a Dominic Hample, so those type of guys. So when it comes to Christian Scott, I think he's gonna be the next pitcher for the Mets to make a big time impression. I mean, you hope that it's Mike Vasil, but because he's literally there at the door. But Christian Scott, I just hope that he has an exciting spring training. I don't know exactly how much burn the Mets are going to give him, but I've seen some videos of him recently, and I like what I see from Christian Scott. I think the Mets need pitching really, really bad, and I hope that Christian Scott can be, an exciting player to come. So that's my take on these 4 players, man. 4 players. Let me know what you guys think about Jet Williams. What do you guys think about Luis Angel Acuna, Drew Gilbert, Christian Scott? Because I think these guys are very, very important, and they're going to be the most exciting to see in spring training, in my opinion. There's definitely other prospects as well, but those are the 4 I'm most excited for, I would say, in the spring training for 2024. So yeah, that's going to be the video. If you enjoyed, definitely do me a favor, leave a like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, man, LFGM for life. I'm out of here. Stay blessed.